Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Dude, you spelled my name wrong.
Oh Oh wait, on the stream title?
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, I did.
motherfucker.
I did. I'm stupid. I know what it is. I was just rushing.
You good?
I'm a goof. All right, there we go. I fixed it. Yeah, that other one can get me in some trouble.
Yeah,
Get me in
what a
some
rough
trouble.
start.
Oh
You're canceled on
man,
your second
I
podcast
know,
ever.
right? Oh my goodness, I'm goofing. Okay, all right, okay, we're all good. Let me fix this up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate all y'all sticking with me through that. Okay, so this is episode 3 of the Kayfart pod. I got my boy MF on the other side here. MF, how you doing, buddy?
Good man, excited. It's my first
Yeah, dude.
podcast.
Hell yeah. Okay, yeah, no, this is gonna be fun. I mean, I'm assuming you've seen the other ones. It's just gonna be chill. I kind of like to start off. I actually wanted to ask because I don't think I talked to you about this the first time we met. But how did you get the name? Like, how did you come up with the name, motherfucker? Like, it's just so, like random. Like, I feel like I'm hella curious how you started off with that name.
All right, so my history with usernames is
Mm.
like I just like to think of stupid ass shit because I feel like a lot of people have some super serious names,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't expect to stream or gain any notoriety within the Melee community, so I didn't know I was gonna be known by this name. So I,
Mm.
I literally put no thought to it. I just
Yeah.
put whatever was funny and like we'll get a reaction from whoever I'm commenting on. Like
Mm-hmm,
some
mm-hmm.
past names were like Mother of 1000, Why Am I So Fat? A bunch of random shit.
Just random stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Cause I remember like the first time we met was like at AJ's place or whatever. Like you came over that day, and
That's so weird.
yeah, they were like, oh yeah, motherfuckers coming over. I was like, huh? I was like, wait, do we hate this guy or what? He's like, no, that's his name. I was like, oh, we don't fuck with this guy
I
or
was
something.
dead.
Yeah. So
Hey,
no,
you're a
yeah, I was
real one
just.
for grabbing the pizza for us.
Oh no, dude, you're a real one for buying it, bro. That was tight. But yeah, so next thing I wanted to ask actually was how long have you been streaming for? Because like I said, I became aware of you, like I met you that time, but I'm assuming you were streaming before then. So like how long
So,
did you? Yeah, how long have you been
uh-huh.
streaming for?
There wasn't like a definitive time. Like I would stream here and there. My first streams, believe it or not, were actually me building terrariums. Nothing to do with Melee or games at all.
Wow.
Eh, Yeah, and for the uninitiated, terrariums are like in like glass enclosures with like plants inside, and basically the idea is it waters itself, so no
Mm-hmm.
water escapes, and when the sun comes up, the sides get like a little misty, and then
Mm-hmm.
it simulates rain, high humidity.
Interesting. Is that what you have in the back, like in your background right there, or no?
So these are just tanks, like
Mm-hmm.
fish
Mm-hmm.
tanks. So this
Mm-hmm.
one has like one fish now
Yeah.
and a bunch of shrimp. This
Uh
one
huh.
has a couple fish and shrimp. This
That's
one's just a
sick.
regular fish tank. This one's called a
Mm-hmm.
paludarium, where it has like water. Fuck. It has like water and plant features.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like above and below water. So
Dude.
yeah, yeah, this was a big hobby of mine.
That's so sick. I didn't even, dude. MF is just a man of many hats, bro. He cooks, he boxes, he's got the terrariums. How did you get into terrariums? How did that start? That's such a unique hobby. I've never heard anyone.
Yeah, so I've always had like a fascination with nature, and I always thought it was the like I always liked big making something big scale, or that seems big scale, into like a small habitat. Like if you look at it closely, like the scaling of all the plants and
Mm-hmm.
the hardscape and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I just took a picture of it, you would think it's like a huge tank, but it's like a small tank,
Interesting.
and it's just very therapeutic. It's almost
Mm-hmm.
like meditative in a way.
Okay.
And yeah, I remember one day I was like, oh, I could finally afford this hobby, so I just jumped into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a huge money and time sink.
Yeah, that's dope. But I'm assuming you've been enjoying it, right? It seems like you got a couple tanks back there.
Yeah, I used to have my room layout recently changed, but I used to have like 8 tanks going on at once with a bunch of plants. It looked like a mad laboratory.
That's so tight, dude. What? I literally had no idea. Hey, you learn something new every day about your homies, right?
Yeah.
That's tight. So okay, so I kind of want to keep going on with MF the streamer right now. So what's like been your experience with streaming thus far? Because like you were just talking about, you started off doing the terrariums. You started off not even doing melee stuff. But like, what are some of the experiences you've had with streaming? How's it been, and what are some of your goals, if you have any, as a streamer?
Yeah. So, um, streaming's been good. It's been really fun. My stream is still pretty small, which is okay. You know, it's intimate with the homies. Get to hold
Thanks.
conversations a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the reason why I started really getting into streaming was I saw that I remember just seeing the name Ludwig around, and I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea. This was like 2021, by the way, or 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So like the height of the pandemic and whatever.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing the name Ludwig here and there, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "Oh, he's just a big streamer. He's friends with like Pokimane." And in my mind, all these people were like the same.
Mm-hmm.
But what caught my interest was he's a big streamer, but he came from the small, intimate community that is Melee. And I was like, "Whoa, like you
Yeah.
can make it big in Melee." And then I see a lot of people from Twitch that like made jumps in the website and platform itself also from Melee, like Scar. He's the one he's the one who came up with the idea of bits and stuff. And I was like, holy shit, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
can make it big. And I
Yeah. Word, word,
reinvested
word.
myself into the community.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Scar, dude, I love Scar. That guy's goated.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sick. That's pretty dope. I didn't even know Ludwig was like your that was like one of the things that got you started. I didn't even know who Ludwig was until like I started streaming actually. Like I didn't even know him beforehand or anything. Like I actually knew who Ludwig was when the uh the second like documentary came out, the metagame or whatever it's called, like when Samox made that other documentary, and then Ludwig was like interviewing PPMD or something, and I was like, who's this guy? And then everyone was like saying, oh yeah, it's Ludwig, big streamer. I was like, oh, I didn't even know this guy existed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that's just tight. Like Melee definitely can open some doors for people.
Man, you're telling me a lot of
Mm-hmm.
doors have been opened.
Facts. We'll get to that though. We'll get to that.
Okay,
The
wait.
s-
Shit. This is super bad timing, but
mm-hmm.
I have to be right back. Give me
Yeah, yeah,
1 second.
okay. You're good. You're good. Take your time. Yeah, so I was gonna hop into some of the melee stuff because I haven't actually heard about your melee origins like at all. So I kind of wanted to ask like how you started playing melee and how long have you been playing melee?
Okay, so much like everyone else, played at home with the GameCube, like when we were wee little kids, getting fucked up by our older brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Then we forgot about the game as we grew up. Then college hit, go to the dorms, and you see someone with a GameCube or a Wii, and you play them, and you main Marth forward smash.
Mm-hmm.
That's that was the move back then.
Facts. It's the
And
move
then
now,
I
bro.
met, huh?
I said it's the move now, bro.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I was onto something, but
Mm-hmm.
then I met like a group of people that were like actually really into it, and I
Mm.
was like, "Holy shit, you guys know how to wave dash? You're really good." And then like, I started learning more and
Mm.
more, um, but I think I plateaued really fast because I was stoned 98% of the time, so I didn't have the brain capacity to learn.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, once I kind of parted ways from the college folks,
Mm.
I stopped playing. Then I got back in during COVID
Mm.
and try to get a little better. Shout
Mm.
out Kyori. He and I were playing. He was with me since the beginning of my like actual melee growth.
Mm.
Follow him on Spotify, Kyori the Okapi. But yeah, and then like I started getting to know other really good players and like
Uh-huh.
some OGs of the scene. I was like, I kind of need to be way better at this game because like I want to be able to hold a conversation about melee and other things. You know.
Word. Yeah.
So I got better to fit in with the community. I'm not
Mm-hmm,
good
mm-hmm.
yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, so do you think that like so are your goals with melee more like you just want to get good enough to kind of just be like, okay, yeah, that MF guy is pretty good? Or do you have like, because I know you enter tourneys sometimes, but you're not like always like. If it, I mean, you definitely go to more locals than I do nowadays, but I feel like you just like the community aspect of it. Like, what do you think about that?
It's definitely more for the community aspect. I do like to get better at the game,
Mm-hmm.
because I do love to talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Facts.
I hate eating my words.
Uh huh.
Um, but yeah, I love making new friends, making connections, and I want to be a figurehead someday in the melee community. Maybe get a
Mm-hmm.
good job out of it. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, word. That's what's up. That's super dope. I see. I didn't even know that about you at all. Like, I just thought you were just kind of good, just playing. That's what's
Dude,
up.
you wanna know something crazy that's been happening?
Hmm.
Dude, I swear to God, this has happened twice. But people have come up to me and were like, "Are you Motherfucker?" I was like, and in my mind, I was like, "Oh, I probably met him at another
Yeah,
local."
yeah,
And I was like, "Wait, how do you know me? Did I meet you before? What was
yeah,
your name
yeah.
again?" And then they're like, "No, I just saw you on Twitter. I see you around a lot." I was
Uh
like,
huh.
"Oh, sick."
Oh yeah, dude. That's what's up. That's tight, dude. I'm sure that's got to feel good for you, right? It's
It
just
was
the.
very confusing at first, but yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
felt pretty good.
Yeah, because that's like just a little taste of your end goal, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so staying on the melee train, I'm actually curious how you ended up playing Captain Falcon. Like, how did you end up deciding mains? Because like you said, you were playing Marth back in the day.
I don't have a really wordy response. Captain Falcon just looks sick as fuck. Like I would
Yeah.
watch X2J, none,
Mm-hmm.
not so much Wizzy, but yeah, those two guys, and
Mm-hmm.
like it just looked the coolest to me.
Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, no, it doesn't even need to be where I always like to ask how people like, because some people have like some crazy intricate story about how they chose their main. Some people are just like, yeah, dude, Captain Falcon's just fucking tight. What do you want from me?
Yeah,
you know, like, yeah,
all right.
either way, yeah, it's tight. Like, I'm all for it, you know? um, so I actually am curious now. Like, I actually want to talk a little bit more about the boxing stuff. How did you initially get into boxing, and how long have you been boxing for?
All right, so please don't feel pity for what I'm
Mm-hmm.
about to say, but I was
Okay.
like, I grew up in a very rough neighborhood in San Jose,
Mm-hmm.
for my elementary and middle school and a little bit of high school life. There's a lot of gang activity. It was just very ghetto overall, and I would get bullied a lot, both mentally and physically. And when I moved to SoCal, um, finally away from all that, I'm in a much better neighborhood now. Uh, like I decided to want to stop feeling weak and powerless in all these situations. So my brother signed me up for some classes originally for MMA, mixed martial arts,
Mm.
and I was like addicted to it. Like I'd even do it for the fitness aspect. It was just so stimulating and so fun. And I started becoming more disciplined in my schoolwork because I was a shit student.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Same.
of that, like that was the first thing that I've ever been disciplined in. And like there's so many parallels to draw with
Mm-hmm.
life and fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the
Wow.
origin.
Uh-huh. That's amazing. So when did you move to SoCal? Like, how long have you been sort of doing this? Like,
Shit. Whenever sophomore, I moved here on the summer leading up to my sophomore year of high school, and I've been
oh,
here
okay.
since.
Wow, and you've been boxing since.
Yeah, so a
Wow.
little over a decade now.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. That's awesome.
I haven't
Dang,
been
dude,
that
that's
consistent, but
yeah. That's
yeah.
actually so sick. Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely something to be said about like, especially like I'm sure there was like a lot of like you're able to like take some power back. Like you're getting stronger. You're you know like I'm sure that helped you a lot mentally, especially after all the stuff you went through. Like coming up, like the boxing, I'm
Mhm.
sure it was like a really nice escape because I sort of have a similar thing, but I wasn't necessarily getting bullied as much. But I grew up in Baltimore, whereas
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, so it's just like hella ghetto too. So I'm like right there with you. But my thing was just video games instead of like boxing. So I'm definitely right there. Like when you find the escape, when you find the thing that you're like, ooh yeah, this shit's tight. Like it definitely is a game changer. You know?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the primal release that comes from boxing is like
Mhm.
no other, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
it's better than like post nut clarity.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just get that
yeah.
peace of mind, and
Uh-huh.
like you have not a single thread of violence within you anymore. Not no anger. When you're in
Yeah.
a fight, that's all that's in front of you. It's so
Mhm.
high risk that you're not allowed to focus on anything else. Almost.
Mhm. Yeah, that's amazing. So like would you say you enjoy the aspect of like learning techniques and sort of getting in shape, or just the actual act of like fighting someone else? You know what I mean? Like, do you prefer to do like bag work and stuff like that, or is like where you're at your happiest is like hopping in the ring sparring with somebody?
Definitely sparring. Hitting the bag is very therapeutic too, especially when you hear those
Mm-hmm.
loud thuds.
Yeah, I was about to say
But
is I definitely was a fan of the bag work.
yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sparring is fun because like it's like an empty canvas, and like you two are artists, and it's like Splatoon where you're just trying to like
Yeah,
whose
yeah.
art can dominate
Uh
is
huh.
how I see it.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's tight. Yeah. That's honestly really dope. Like, especially, boxing has always been something that I've been very interested in. Like, I boxed a little bit when I was younger too.
Uh huh.
Um, but and I was actually like okay at it. I just didn't like getting hit in the face. So I was like, well, I can't really, like, I was good at it because I was good at not getting hit. But I mean, no matter how good you are, you're gonna get hit in the face eventually. Like, it's just a matter of time, right? So
Most definitely.
I definitely couldn't stick with it, but I've always been really really interested in boxing and just watching it. But so okay, how often would you say that you like train or spar, especially nowadays that you're getting more, like you said you fell off a little bit consistency wise, but I feel like you're getting back into it more and more.
So the story goes is um last year for about 2 years I was a full-time trainer, and I was in the
Yeah.
best shape of my life. I trained
Hmm.
literally every day with like the exception of some holidays. Excuse me. And then I hurt my back, and
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
yeah, and it was like a fucking crippling experience. Like the pain would shoot down to my legs. I literally understand why old men are grumpy now.
Yeah.
Like I was walking so slow.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed like a walker. It was that bad. I don't know
Hmm.
what happened, but I just kind of woke up with this searing pain, and I just couldn't
Wow.
train. And I thought it was gonna last a week, but it lasted half a year. And then
Wow.
I kind of became fat.
That's insane. Yeah, that's such
Yeah,
a
dude.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, I've been training regularly, about twice a week, but
Okay.
not as much as I should.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So I just train other people. I bestow knowledge, and that's what I do
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Word. 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 So, is the twice a week thing just to, like, is your back still kind of messed up? Are you fully healthy, or is it just a matter of just like time now?
It was time because I had a full-time job. Rest in
Yeah.
peace to that, because I just
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
laid off yesterday. So any listeners, if y'all hiring in the tech industry, hit me up.
Facts.
But
Hit my boy
yeah.
up.
So now I'm gonna hit the gym hard as fuck. I'm
Mm-hmm.
recovered now, but it was just a lack of time before.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That absolutely makes sense. So I'm actually very curious about this because, um, obviously I don't get to talk to. There's a lot of people in the melee community, but I feel like the niche of boxing and melee is kind of like not something that's super prevalent. I guess like there's not a ton of people who are boxing and playing melee, right? So I'm
Hmm.
curious if there's anything that like boxing has taught you about melee or vice versa, because I sort of had this same thing with my friend Salo, who he's a musician. So I was like, is there anything that music has taught you about melee, vice versa? Like, same thing for boxing. How do you feel about that?
So there's a lot of parallels to draw. Uh, a couple parallels I could draw off the top is like there's a lot of, I guess, feints like fake outs that can apply to both, and it's like pretty psychology based,
Yeah.
in a sense where like you make your opponent think about one option but you execute the other one.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if your opponent's stuck in shield and you're jumping over it, they're expecting an attack
Mm-hmm.
and they want to shield grab your aerial, right?
Yeah.
But then if you jump over their shield and then double jump again right after. They whiff their shield grab, and then you can
Mhm.
punish harder.
Yeah.
That's like a basic one. In
Mhm.
boxing, the equivalent is like throwing a jab, your longest, safest punch. Throwing a jab and getting them conditioned for that. You
Mhm.
get them to react to that jab and throw something else after. You
Mhm.
punish them off of that. So there,
Yeah.
there's like the concept of feints that I could
Mhm.
draw. It's like mind games or how to
Mhm.
strategize. You can tell if someone's a little more offensive minded, defensive minded, and adjusting game plan as such.
Yeah.
I wish I was as good at that in melee
Mhm.
as I am in
Yeah.
boxing. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's a time. It's just a time thing too, right? You've been boxing for a lot longer as well, right? Like
hmm
everything just sort of comes with time. I so I feel like how does mentally like how does how does that sort of work? Because I would like melee obviously is like in tournament can be stressful sometimes, but boxing is like you are literally your body's on the line. Like you get punched in the face, punched in the liver. Like has there been any sort of like mental toughness that you feel like you've gotten from boxing that's come over to melee or vice versa?
So melee is like, I think, almost as stimulating as boxing in certain as far as like mentally goes, but
Mm-hmm.
none of the physical
Physical.
repercussions.
Yeah.
So like it's fun, but I know I'm not gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And well, sometimes my hands get tired, but
Uh-huh.
um,
It's not the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, and like competing, I think it's easier to have a strong mental in melee than it is in boxing. So
Absolutely.
a lot of times I'm just kind of like, I kind of just remain calm.
Mm-hmm.
I do, and I'm not immune to like nerves, but it's easier to snap myself out of it,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
In melee.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
In boxing, it's a little different because you're worried about so many things, but
Yeah.
then it's like paralysis by analysis. Like
Yeah.
you can't just stay there and be scared. You have to do
Uh-huh.
something
You
about
have
it,
to
and you
move.
you are
Yeah.
going to get hit.
Mm-hmm. That's actually what I was gonna ask next. Is like you just started talking about nerves. Like that's definitely a thing in melee. I feel like it's actually interesting because melee you have more of a chance to be nervous because it's more of a sort of subdued environment. Obviously, melee is still like intense and all that stuff, but as compared to boxing, where you literally can get knocked out, punched in the temple, and like you're sleeping. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like do you feel like boxing? Have you ever had a moment in boxing where you're like you feel nervous? Is that like a thing that happens to you in boxing as much? Or no,
I
not
get
really.
fucking nervous right before. Like I feel like I'm
Mm.
about to throw up. If you hear that from other boxers, like that's a real thing.
Mhm.
Even Mike Tyson has some stories where he wanted to quit right before the fight even started. Like
Wow.
it's so nerve wracking because
Uh-huh.
you guys both have the same intentions. You guys are
Uh-huh.
both probably scared,
Yes.
and out of that fear, it's you can't run away. So
Uh-huh.
and it's fight or flight, and you have
Yeah.
to choose fight.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. So when you say before, do you mean before like you're standing in the corner and you're like, oh man, this is like right before the bell dings, or you're thinking like the build up like the day before? You know what I mean?
Yes to both.
Wow.
Um,
Uh huh.
on the like sometimes you won't even get good sleep, but you need to be well rested,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, fuck, there's so much on the line. Your feet
Yeah.
don't work.
Uh
I'm like,
huh.
why are my legs shaking?
Uh huh.
Like I feel like so pathetic. How am I a fighter and I'm like so nervous? Like I am
Wow.
shaking in my boots right now.
Mm-hmm. So is that something you feel like you are still constantly dealing with? Do you feel like you've overcome it at some point and you're like, oh man, I need to get back to that? Or is it just something that like every time you got a spar coming up or you got like some fight coming up, you're like, oh shit, here we go again?
If it's with like a regular training partner, I never feel those things. Like,
Okay.
it's like friendlies and melee. You're just having fun. You want to do cool shit, but like
Yeah.
there's no real mean intention.
Uh-huh.
If it's with someone else or if it's for a fight, that's when I get really scared. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, wait, what was your original question? I'm
Yeah,
like
no,
thinking
that
of it.
no, that was the question. Was like,
Okay.
yeah, like the fear of the buildup and if you feel like you've conquered it or not. But yeah, you
Oh
answered
yeah.
it. Yeah, you answered it. Pretty
With
much.
that in mind,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to boxing and I'm still scared, what really takes my fear away is getting hit really hard once. It's like
Okay.
feeling their power and you
Uh
kind of
huh.
know their ability. because
Okay.
you're scared of the unknown. Like, I don't know how strong this guy is, but once you get a taste and a
Uh
gauge,
huh.
then you're like, okay, now I know how to work around this or work with it.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
that's very interesting actually. That's such an interesting parallel because I feel like I don't know, I guess it varies from person to person too, right? Because I was just thinking in Melee, like if you're playing someone really good and they just hit you with some like crazy fucking punish or something, I feel like I get more nervous in that way, like in tournament, because I'm like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do about this guy? As opposed to being like, okay, all right, I see what I'm working with now. Like, I think that's actually a really interesting mentality. Do you feel the same way in Melee too, or have you never really thought about it like that?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's definitely a good parallel to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes in both sports and games, I guess you like this guy's like starting to do crazy shit and you're like, well, I need to do crazier shit, but sometimes that's not the case. You got to work with what you have
Uh-huh.
and like trust yourself and trust your techniques. Like
Mm-hmm.
someone's doing like crazy moonwalk, edge cancel bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
and I could dash dance, but
Mm-hmm.
I still have to use my dash dance better than he can use his moonwalk. Same with
Yeah.
boxing. Some guys doing crazy footwork. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta just use my footwork better than he can use his crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you really gotta trust your technique. Don't try anything uh new for the sake of trying to look better. Like
Mm-hmm.
just trust your execution.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely an interesting parallel. Like, I feel like there's so many things that you can draw between boxing and or just fighting and Melee in general, because fighting games and fighting are basically, it's mentally it's kind of the same thing, just obviously not without the physical aspect, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I actually think that's a yeah that like you have a good, very good mentality for tournament. I feel like, I think honestly that's a very good way to look at things, like especially when you're going up against a stronger opponent. Like, that doesn't necessarily intimidate you. You're just kind of like, okay, like I see what I'm working with now. Let's see what we got.
Yeah. I also trust my chin because I got a big old noggin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm built like Mario.
Yeah, I feel it. So okay, I'm actually curious because I know that you were sort of talking to some Melee players about like doing lessons. You've done some lessons with Melee players. What was sort of the initial moment that you like? How did you sort of get in that position? Was it just like somebody heard that you're like, oh, this guy just fucking does boxing, like let me hit him up, or like how did you sort of put yourself in that position?
Dude, I'm super excited to answer this question. So the story goes, I was with my boy Tony, and I was like, dude, I want to go to a fucking tournament because like I've been watching Melee, I've been playing Melee, and I really want to do Melee. Like I
Mm-hmm.
want to be in the mix, I want to be in the scene and all this stuff. Like I want to be someone noteworthy. So, and I'm still working my way up, but I'm definitely making progress.
For sure.
So the story goes, one day I tell Tony, "Hey, I want to go to a tournament. You want to come with?" And then he said, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's look for one. We go on Smash GG, rest in peace." And he sees the opening for the new Mang, and it's not too far. It's in LA. We go and we look at who's on the list, and it's like SJ, Josh Man, Lucky, Kadoran, and many others. And I was like, "This is pretty big. It's like 100-person local."
Mm-hmm.
So I go there, and on our drive there, I was like, Tony, by the end of the night, I'm telling you this, we're gonna drink with all these people, or with all the top players, and then uh, I didn't really believe that myself. I kind of said it in jest, but
Mm-hmm.
when me and Tony did way better than we had did.
Mm-hmm.
Tony went 4-2, I went
Wow.
3-2,
Uh-huh.
and we're fine with that. And then we just socialized. Josh man approached me, and uh we just started talking. I was like, "Yeah, I've definitely seen you on like Ludwig's podcast." In my mind, I'm like, "I know exactly who the fuck you are,"
Yeah, yeah,
and
word, word,
we
word.
just started chopping it up. But
Uh-huh.
there's also a lot of fanboys kind of following
Mm-hmm.
these people around. I'm like, I am not one of those. I'm not a statistic. I'm gonna be
Uh-huh.
different.
Yeah.
So I just let him alone, and we talked here and there. And Tony and I bought soju, like big bottles, and we just started offering it. I was like, "Yo, you want to take a shot with us? Take a shot. Take a shot."
Mm-hmm.
Um, then throughout the tournament, Tony and I got Josh Man and SCJ really fucking drunk,
Mm-hmm.
and they ended up in grand finals. And they were just playing
Nice.
drunk as fuck.
Uh-huh.
And then they invited us to go out to drink. And that's where the real talks happened.
Mm-hmm.
Tony basically a wingman for me and was telling Josh, because I was talking to Johnny. I was talking to Josh about like how I do boxing, how I do cooking, all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't even know this was going on. And then Tony calls me over. Long story short, Josh Man wants to try boxing.
Okay.
Comes over the next day, does boxing. He's like,
Uh-huh.
"Fuck, mate, I can't believe how much I like this. Like, I'm
Yeah.
addicted to it."
Wow.
And then, yeah, and then like, uh, he kept coming for lessons, and it was
Mm-hmm.
really fun. And then he had to move, or he had to go
Mm-hmm.
to Canada for some Battle BC
Mm-hmm.
tournaments and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we've remained in contact since. And then like a couple months go by, I'm still going to tourneys, still talking to folks,
Mm-hmm.
making friends with all the OGs. And then Ludwig's tournament happens, or
Mm-hmm.
Ludwig's fucking test boxing is like announced to all the participants, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
public knowledge yet.
Yeah.
And I get reached out by Stans,
Uh-huh.
and I just remember waking up to this DM. I'm like, who the fuck is this following me with a check mark?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then lo and behold, it Stans, and he just DMs me like, yo, let's train. I'm super interested. I've been looking for you
Oh,
for
wow.
the longest time. I tried to find that one tweet because I also
Uh,
sent out a tweet
uh-huh.
with me punching a bag, and I
Yeah.
just like advertised myself to SoCal Smashers.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wow.
and then like through that, I just kept making connections into the streaming world, and it's kind of like dipping my toes and putting my hands in other buckets, and like
Mm-hmm.
now I have a lot more robust following. It's not a big following, but it's like like 30% verified people, verified OGs. I'm like, holy shit, I
Mm-hmm.
can't believe this is happening. I'm like
Yeah.
going to parties with them, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, this is crazy.
That's awesome.
And more
That's so
opportunities
sick.
are,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think so did Stans ever mention how he sort of found you, or he just heard you like word of mouth kind of thing, or
He said he saw that tweet a while ago,
okay.
and I was like, so how'd you end up actually like triangulating my tweet?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
He's like, dude, I asked Ludwig, I asked Nick, I asked Aiden, I asked Dawson. I was like, I'm so flattered that you think I even know these people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then he
yeah,
found him through Josh Man or something.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He followed the paper trail to Josh, man. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's my boy."
Yeah. So now that now I know my name is out there. I'm sure
Yeah.
people are aware.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the first step, man. Just getting people to
Yeah.
go, "Oh, hey, yeah, I know that guy."
Catch me on the
I've,
yard soon.
I've heard of that guy. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's so awesome. And honestly, MF, I actually think like this is like such a good skill of yours. I tell you about this every single time that we like hang out, but I'm like you have very good confidence about yourself. Like even the first time
Oh,
we met, like MF has a very good way of like sort of making himself approachable to people, but he has the confidence to be like you know, like because there's a very thin line between like being a confident person and then just being like a douchebag, right? And you are, I mean, obviously you're not a douchebag. I fuck with you. I have you on the podcast. We hang out all the time. Like you're my boy.
yeah.
But yeah, like I definitely think that's something very good about yourself that you like that will definitely get you more opportunities because people like it's just the energy. Like you could see it for sure. People see that.
Damn, my heart is all warm and fuzzy on the inside
Yeah,
now.
no, absolutely. Yeah, and like no, dude. Like I definitely like because even that's something I definitely would like to have more of as well as like I try to work on that kind of thing. It's just like having some more confidence in yourself, like because you know you got to be your number one fan, bro. No one else is gonna be, you know.
Right. I mean,
And
I feel like you're already there, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Just
I appreciate
self-doubt.
that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I was about to
Everyone
say, yeah.
get
You
rid
know,
of.
it's you know, I might have to start boxing, bro. Start punching these demons out here.
I'm gonna be real. It does help knowing that I can handle myself physically, not to
Yeah,
sound cocky.
I was
That
about to
helps.
say no. I was about to say I'm sure that's absolutely what it is because I think you know like when you're training like all a bunch of confident men usually say that like talk about that. It's like, yeah, you know, like I like when you feel like when you're training, like you feel good. Like it just helps you naturally just be like obviously you don't have to go around being a dick, but like being
Yeah.
being confident is like is a very very good skill to have. So major props to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I also wanted to ask sort of like what has been the experience of coaching stands so far? Has that like cuz I'm like I think you had a video where you guys were doing some what's it called? Like you guys were doing some I think you guys were working on stuff, right?
Yeah, the mid
Uh,
work.
yeah, mid work, yeah, mid work.
Yeah. So stands is uh how do I describe this? Like there's like a couple archetypes in boxing where you're like really fast or snappy.
Mm.
Uh, you're like fat but strong, or
Mhm.
like you're like strong but not fast.
Yeah.
And Stans is the third one. He's strong
Mhm.
in the sense where he has like thudding punches. I have
Okay.
snappy power. He has
Yeah.
thudding power. So like
Mhm.
my power will sting, but his power like aches.
Mhm.
And so he's not the fastest, but dude, his punches fucking hurt. I can't play
Yeah.
melee after training with him. It
Wow.
took a while for him to get some concepts,
Uh-huh.
but one thing he excels at for some fucking reason, and I think it's the hardest part of boxing, is footwork. His
Yeah,
feet are he's
absolutely.
so
It's the
light on his
slept on
feet,
part. Mhm.
and he just picks
Yeah.
up like really complex footwork, like within 2 tries.
Mhm.
It took me years.
That's crazy. Damn,
Yeah.
he's natural.
And he's
That's
also very
awesome.
confident in himself too.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Um,
That's yeah. That's actually so like I just think that's such a cool like opportunity. Like have you guys been like sort of has it been like have you guys been cool like you guys talk hang out after is it just like or is it just business kind of?
Um, I'm open to it, but it seems
Uh-huh.
more business on his end. It's
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
one-way
word.
relationship. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
getting friend zoned. I'm
Uh-huh.
just kidding.
That's funny.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I would love
Uh-huh.
to be friends, but
Yeah.
it's fine. I'm not gonna force it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the one thing you don't want to do is just because I mean, ultimately, like it's still just a cool opportunity, regardless of whether like you necessarily become friends or not. Like it's just cool to be able to say, yeah, I coach stands in boxing. Like
Yeah,
that's
it'll
just
be
tight.
better if he wins.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, like how? What are your thoughts on the event? Like, are you nervous? Are you like, okay, I like no stands is gonna be hella prepared? Like, cause is this your first time sort of doing formal? Not, I guess, obviously it's not like you trained, but is it like your first time preparing someone for a fight kind of thing?
Yes, it's
Okay.
my first time preparing someone for a fight. Yes,
Mhm.
um, it what there's like there's waves of anxiety and nervousness that comes with it because like I want to train him really well. I don't want to overwork him, but I also want him to be like responsible with his technique in the ring. So like I'm
Mhm.
really trying to drill that in, and like there's always that anxiety of like what if this other guy just like does something crazy and has better coaching, and like I'm responsible. I feel very responsible for
Mhm.
Stan's performance, even though I'm not
Mhm.
Stans. And he
Yeah.
probably wouldn't blame me if he loses, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
blame myself.
Yeah.
So like
Absolutely.
there's
As
a
a
lot of
good coach would.
anxiety.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's definitely something very interesting because it's sort of like it's I'm sure it's such a different experience too because you're used to being the one like okay, I'm training for this upcoming spar, or this upcoming fight or whatever like, I'm getting my body like, it's all on you. It's all on you. And then now like the parallel of like okay, I'm just trying to impart my knowledge and then like it's pretty much hands off for the most part. Like when the fight day actually comes, it's hands off. I'm sure that's like an interesting sort of different mental.
Yeah. It, it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely it's definitely a beast in itself, but
Mm-hmm.
Stans will fuck him up. I'm so
Yeah.
confident in that guy. He's gonna
Nice.
fuck him up.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So wait, when is the event again?
It's on December 11th,
Mm-hmm.
youtube.com/live/Ludwig, I think.
Okay, nice. There you go,
Yeah.
dude. December 11th. That's the day I get back to, or that's the day after I get back to California. Actually, like I come back on the 10th. So
Oh
that's yeah,
shit.
yeah. I know that's
You can
it's gonna
tune in
be
and have a
very
watch party
interesting.
for me.
Yeah, I was about to say. I definitely think I would. I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to restream it or anything. Like, I don't know what the rules are for that. But
I give you guys permission.
I was about to say. I mean, I feel like I'm small enough that I could,
Yeah.
I could weasel my way in there. I could
Yeah.
get it. I could get in under the cracks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fucking loud too.
Mhm. Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like you were saying that it's your first time. So have you ever been in someone's corner though, like in a fight? Or this is the first time for that as well?
Oh yeah, this is my first time being in the corner of someone.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've had clients who have amateur careers, and they're doing very well for themselves. But like, I wasn't involved as far as like their first fights because they move away and then they compete.
Mhm.
So it feels good raising them in that sense. I feel like a proud father.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm sure that's like that's a cool part about the different aspects of it, is like being the boxer and then being like a coach where it's like you have that sense of pride where it's like, when you knock somebody out or whatever, like yes, all that work I put in is like it paid off. But watching someone you trained knock somebody out is like a different kind of like, it's gonna be a
Yo,
different kind of pride
seriously.
there. Uh-huh.
It's think about it like imagine yourself as a dad watching your son get in a fight and he
Yeah.
knocks that fool out. You're gonna scold him for everything he did wrong, but then you're
Yeah,
like,
they're gonna
hey,
be
by
like,
the way, good
nice.
shit though.
Yeah, I was about to
You
say, yeah,
fucked him
no,
up.
dude, I was just about to say, my little brother just got in a fight a couple of weeks ago. I was like, okay, you're not supposed to do that, but did you win though? I was like, did you knock him out though?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
bro,
it's like that.
cause yeah, no, I'm definitely right there with you.
Yep.
I think there's definitely something beautiful. There's definitely something beautiful in the art of just knocking somebody the fuck out sometimes. you know.
Yes. Sweet chin
Yeah.
music.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But yeah, I think that's all I got here, man. That was amazing. I had a really fun time talking about all the parallels of boxing, melee. Talking a little bit about the event,
Hell yeah.
talking about the coaching. Yeah, like that was. I had a great time, dude. We definitely gotta hang out soon. When I get back, bro, I'm trying to. I still need to know. I still need to find all the Korean spots, man.
Dude, I got you, bro.
Cause
You're
slap
gonna end up
slap.
drunk though.
I was about to say I'm down. I just gotta be ready. I gotta know. Gotta
Yo,
know what I'm
yo.
getting into. Cause yeah, man,
Yeah.
you and Mar put me on the soju. I haven't gone back since, man.
Yes, King.
I haven't gone back since, bro. The soju's popping. I love that shit.
Yo. But hey, thanks for asking very great questions. You
No,
opened up
of course.
a lot of spots in my mind that I forgot about.
Yeah, I know, dude. I just appreciate you hopping on, giving good answers. Me and MF been trying to do this for like the past 2 weeks. That I had to reschedule, he had to reschedule. So I'm glad we were able to actually sit down and get it done. Like this is actually such a fun time.
Hell
I
yeah.
definitely can't wait to have you back on, my friend. And yeah, dude. Hopefully, I'll definitely will talk to you soon when I get back. We'll kick it, have some good times. I appreciate you hopping on, bro. Good luck with the internet.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Schedule one after the event, and then I got more.
Oh
stuff to
yeah,
do.
word. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I think I will do that.
All right, man.
Yeah. All right. I'll
Shout
catch
outs
you,
to my
bro.
homies. Shout outs to my chat. Shout outs to my followers. Make sure you sub to K.
Just make sure you
Follow him
guys
on
go.
all
If you're
socials, too.
if you're not following MF, go give my boy a follow. Twitch.tv/Muthafugga. I love saying that shit. It's so funny every
All right.
time. All right. I'll catch you, bro. I appreciate you again.
Yup. Thanks for
Peace,
having me on.
peace. There we go. Episode 3, my friends. What a guy. That's my boy, man. Nice. I appreciate you guys. Today's was a little shorter. I have to help my dad out with some stuff. So I kept the questions, like I didn't have as many questions as I normally do, but that was so fun. MF's fucking great guy, dude, for real. I actually love that guy. He's good people. He provides a great energy. That was fun. Hey, I'm glad you had fun, MF, for real. I appreciate you coming on. Swole Cat is next, Mello. Swole Cat is next. And then so Swole Cat's episode November 2nd. I'm gonna have Swole on. And then after that, we'll see. We'll see who answers the call. Riley, thank you. so much for all the kind words. Yeah, I was reading chat a little bit. I try not to read chat as much while I'm doing the pods, obviously, because I'm trying to listen. You know, like I don't want to. Like it's hard for me to use both brains to read chat and do whatever. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the love, support. Kiori, I always love seeing you. JM, thanks for hopping in. All the MF viewers, Salo, Mello, much love, y'all. Waveland, my boy, Waveland. I've been seeing you on the. Is it P5 or P4 or is it both? I feel like you're doing both, but I've been seeing you, bro. P5, yeah, word. I'm addicted. Is this your first playthrough, Waveland? I think we talked about this while I was playing Book Fables, actually. But yeah, no, Riley, I appreciate you, bro. Riley, I would love to have you on someday. So my idea actually, Riley, was to have you on after we did the baseball event, either before or after the event that you were planning to do. So yeah, I'll definitely whenever that's happening, I'll definitely be oh no. I know it's gonna happen someday, Riley. I know it will. I trust you. One day I'll do that. I know. It's a lot to organize stuff. Anonymous gifter, thank you so much for the gift sub. I appreciate that. Baichun got a free sub. Love to see it. But yeah, no, Riley. I know you'll do it. But that's definitely blame AJ. I will. I'll blame him. But yeah, no. I'll blame him anyways. But yeah, no, that was fun. Much love, everybody, for real. I'll be back later. I'm gonna be playing Fire Emblem with Mukavo. I'm be playing Fire Emblem Awakening. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys so much. Like, this is a very fun pod. I have a lot of viewers. Holy crap. Yeah, the pod will be on YouTube too, so I'll upload it at some point. Hey, thanks, Riley. You're putting a freaking smile on my face. I genuinely appreciate the kind words so much. Salo, my fucking boy, bro. Salo, that's my guy, dude. I can't wait to talk to Salo again. But I can't be having return guests so soon. I gotta give everybody a fair shake. I miss you guys too. I'll be back in December, and we all gotta kick it. But yeah, much love, everybody. Enjoy Scar. That guy's the GOAT. And yeah, I'll be back later with Mukavo. So peace.